It's a pleasure. Stay well.
Rightio, let's go back to federal politics then. Supporters of Barnaby Joyce reportedly questioned the government's boost to childcare funding during a fiery meeting of Liberal and National MPs at Parliament House yesterday. George Christensen and Matt Canavan were said to be among those arguing that too much spending on childcare discourages mums from staying home to care for their kids. For more, I'm joined by Liberal Senator Holly Hughes in Canberra, who supports the childcare boost. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Senator Hughes, so what happened in this meeting? It got a bit willing, we're told.
Well, I couldn't possibly comment on what occurred in party room, but I will say whoever was speaking to some of the journos after must have been taking some pretty thorough notes, because they were reasonably accurate, I'd say, on some of the conversations that were had. But I think the issue here for us to look at is the party room is a place where we have an exchange of ideas. I didn't come to Parliament to be told what I was going to vote on and to be told what I was going to support, and that it goes across the board for the Liberal Party in particular, but certainly with the National Party when we have a joint party room. There's quite often a robust discussion and an exchange of ideas. That's what occurred yesterday. It has occurred before. It'll occur again, and it's great. I am thrilled to be in a party where you can have those sort of discussions.
OK, so if those notes were as accurate as you say, did George Christensen, the Queensland Nat, say this funding, in his view, is, or parents who use childcare are outsourcing care for their kids?
Look, I honestly cannot recall what every person said.
Was that the general thrust? Was that the general thrust of the argument he and others were making?
I think what we need to look at when we look at this policy that we were debating, this policy is focused on targeted childcare payments and increased subsidies for people that want to return to work. And again, this is not just women. And we seem to have an issue in this country when we talk about childcare that we automatically go to, this is a women's issue. And it's not. This is a family's issue. And what we want to do is ensure that families have the choice, that if they want to go back to work, if mum or dad wants to go back to work, wants to pick up extra days, this childcare boost will ensure that they're taking home more than a couple of cents in the dollar after they've got a couple of kids in childcare. So we want to make sure that we're targeting this at boosting economic participation. There's support for families. There's lots of different things, whether it's family tax benefit Part A or Part B, that parents that make the choice to stay at home can access. But that's what this debate was about. It's not about choosing whether or not you want to stay at home or whether you want to go back to work. It's about ensuring that if you go back to work, more of that money's staying in your pocket if you've got more than a couple of kids, because it gets ridiculously expensive. OK,
you're clearly quite passionate about the changes and clearly quite passionate about being told, not being told what to do. So you would recall whether or not you accused George Christensen of mansplaining to you.
I don't think it was just George.
Right.
I actually don't recall saying the word mansplaining. I do remember saying boys as a comment, but yeah, I'm not... But
was it like,
apparently others have greater recollection of what I actually said.
The point making, was it akin to them, as you saw it, mansplaining to you and the other female MPs in the party room?
Look, I think there was, as I said, robust debate between a number of people in the party room. I think most people would like to see that they're able to make their own choices about how they raise their children. And the reality is, for some families, going back to work isn't necessarily a choice that is made based on the back of, you know, a whim. It's a deliberate choice that families make. Sometimes they have to make that choice from a financial perspective, but there's a lot of people that choose to go back to work because, you know, they're not, dare I say it, cut out to sit at home and watch Bluey. You know, some people actually want to go back to work and re-engage with their career. We've had a lot of discussion lately about the disparity between the amount of super that women are retiring with. By going back to the workforce, you're boosting all of those sort of economic levers.
Hey, this is great stuff. Can we sign you up? Holly Hughes is our regular Coalition Party Room correspondent after every meeting.
Michael, you are going to have got me in so much trouble this morning.
I appreciate your time. Hey, listen, before we go, we're talking about the role of women in Australian society. Allied to that, what do you think about Barnaby Joyce becoming Deputy Prime Minister again?
Oh, Michael, there is absolutely no way at this time on a Tuesday morning you're drawing me into commenting on another party's leadership.
Oh, we're talking about the coalition. He's your coalition.
Well,
he's your coalition partner. He's the Deputy Prime Minister. What do you think about him being Deputy PM?
He's the member of the National Party, and the leadership of the National Party is a matter for the National Party.
You don't have a broad view on whether it's a good move for him to come back, given what even some senior Nationals women are saying. They have their doubts about it.
Yeah, no, look, I know both Barnaby and Michael McCormick. Michael McCormick was a great leader in the National Party. Barnaby certainly injects a little more drama, I think, if you could say, but certainly I heard from when we were in Senate question time, there was a number of tweets coming through from reporters saying how they'd missed Barnaby Joyce question time. So hopefully at some stage today I'll get to catch up and see what that performance was like. But as I said, it's a matter for the National Party. The National Party room's voted on who their leader is, and that's a matter for them.
Hope you don't get into too much trouble today, Holly Hughes. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Michael.
Drama. There you go.